I felt like all of his conniving and backstabbing and lying, I wanted to let everyone, I wanted to let him know that he's not anonymous, that we know what he's up to.
Gio, let's kick it off with you. Coming out the gate, you and the Bears were on one hell of a winning streak. How did that kind of feel to kind of jumpstart you being on the show?
I mean, it felt great. We were a bit of an unorthodox team. I think because of that, somewhat underestimated, and it worked though. We had a rhythm as weird as it was, and I think having that immunity for so long though eventually caught up to me because I got so comfortable in the safe zone that the first time my name is on that wheel after so long, I go home.
Absolutely. Polly, the fire competition, right? You chose to go the farthest. You came back. You got top three. How did it feel this late in the game in your first individual competition to get that win?
For me, I had spent, however many weeks getting to that point, and it truly was grueling. It was team game. As soon as it turned to an individual game, and I'd done a really good job at staying under the radar, not being too good at stuff for a target on my back, not being the weak link, and I'd really done a good job. But when it turned to individual game, the gloves were off. I needed to win that challenge. I injured myself doing it, but I honestly would have given my whole arm to win that challenge at that point. I was like, I have to win. So going off into, it was nighttime, we were kayaking. I had never kayaked before. I'd never been in a kayak. So I was planning to go for the middle backpack with the, moderate, easy firelighters and stuff. But once I saw how poorly the bros who had been talking a big game about how hard they are, I was just like, wow, I've got a chance here. And I saw Georgia zip off, and I saw Chase was still behind me, and I was like, I'm doing it. I'm going for that final bag because I would rather have more time on my clock than less chance of starting the fire. And I am so glad that I made that call. That I nearly broke my wrist. I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have cared. Obviously, it did kind of catch up with me in the end in the final challenge, which was unfortunate. But I really needed that win for my confidence, and also to show the other contestants like I'm one to watch.
Absolutely. I totally agree 100%. And then G on the flip side, Trey ruffled feathers of literally everyone. You know what I mean? That night at the wheel, you stood up. You raised, and you've never been shy about, standing on business. So you stood on business that night. What kind of made you want to stand up in that moment and say, "Yeah, I'm the one that put your name on that wheel"?
Jeez. I think Trey eventually he got under my skin. Enough was enough. And I felt like all of his conniving and backstabbing and lying, I wanted to I wanted to let him know that he's not anonymous, that we know what he's up to, and that if I could do anything to stop him, I would. Now, I think that's the night that I went home, but,
It
but
was.
I
It
know.
was.
However, I'm glad I went down swinging and that I didn't hold anything back, especially when it came to Trey.
All right, I got a fun one for you guys before you go. From your show, who would you like to see in Battle Camp Season 2? Polly, I'll let you kick it off.
I mean, Alex Hall would be an absolute riot. I think she'd be a little bit of a diva on some of the physical challenges, so she might have a name on the wheel a couple of times on that. And I think she might have too strong opinions to be universally liked in camp, so
She might go home first.
she might not last long, but it would be honestly lols to see her in that environment.
Gio?
I think for a guy, I think Austin would just kill it. His physicality, he dominate the physical challenges. He might have a target on his back for that same reason, but I think he would definitely bring it. He would
He's
bring it
so
to camp.
unhateable that he would be
He'd be a force.
yeah.
Yeah.